Yes, everybody, we are back live in the building, and it looks like the summer, our targets, what we want to get done this window is heating up, you guys. We obviously have been getting the news around Jeremy Frimpong. It seems like we are the favorites to sign him. He has that 35 million euro release clause, but it also looks like it's going to be the end of an era at Leverkusen this summer because Florian Wirtz looks like he's going to leave. Like I just mentioned, Frimpong, Xavi Alonso's heading to Real Madrid. But anyways, what we need to discuss, you guys, is reports have been coming from Germany today, from Sport Bild, from Christian Falk, that Liverpool reportedly had a meeting with Florian Wirtz on Tuesday in England. And guys, I know it's unlikely because we don't tend to spend big on one player. But here's the reason why I have this little bit of hope that maybe this could end up happening. Why? I was just thinking about it a moment ago. Maybe, just maybe, we already know that Isaac and Alvarez are unobtainable, right? Either Alvarez is unobtainable because he's happy in Spain and he only just moved there. Isaac, we know, is the fee would just be way too crazy from Newcastle. Here's why I think maybe, just maybe, we could go big on him. If we look at the other possible striker options this summer, you have Hugo Ekitike from Frankfurt. You have Benjamin Sesko. You have Gyökeres. You have Osimhen. Those are the main four that kind of the Chelsea, Arsenal, United, other big English teams that want to sign a striker this summer. Maybe we're not convinced with either four of those names. Just like me personally, I'm not that convinced about either one of those four names. So maybe Arne Slot is convinced that Florian Wirtz, who is a goal scorer, by the way, but he's also a creator, he's many things, could play in that false nine type role for us. We've seen him use Szoboszlai a few times there. We've seen him prefer using Lucho in the striker position rather than Darwin and Jota, who are fit right now. That's what's making me think maybe, guys, maybe, just maybe, Arne Slot is thinking that he could play in that false nine role and more as a creator and someone who can facilitate the play, like we saw with kind of Bobby Firmino in the past. Obviously, very different players, but you get what I'm saying. The team that could go on to win the Champions League this season, PSG, right? I think they're going to be the favorites in the final. Do they have a proper number 9? No. And I'm sure Slot and other coaches around world football, I'm sure would have been inspired by this PSG side that are very difficult to defend, that are very difficult to play against, because it's not the traditional type of attack that you're up against. Obviously, then we could talk about their midfield and defense and everything else. But guys, what do you think about this possible summer signing? I'm getting a little too excited. Joseph, nice to see you in the building, who says, I'm currently having Oh, that sounds so nice. We don't need him, bro. Think about that type of role, though. He is top class. I wouldn't just categorize as we don't need him, bro. A player of that quality, it's not about needing. It's about him coming into the team and right away being a difference maker. There's a reason why the two other main clubs that are interested, you guys, are Man City and Bayern Munich. Two clubs that are also going to be willing to go big on him. And I can understand why. Whenever I watched him, bro, he has so much freaking ability, and he's done it at the highest level. You know what I mean? So I don't think he's a risky type of signing. He's going to come in and perform right away. I think he's on Musiala's level, if not, and Musiala is one of the best young talents in world football. You know what I mean? The fee would be crazy, Louis. But the thing is, what I was mentioning before is, yes, the fee would be crazy, but you have to remember that the other strikers that I mentioned, the Benjamin Sesko, the Hugo Ekitike, the Gyökeres, all of those players aren't guaranteed successes, and yet the price tags that are being mentioned are minimum 90 million. Why? Because there aren't that many top strikers available this summer, and therefore these clubs know that they can bargain. They know that they can ask for big fees because a lot of these clubs, including us, are going to be desperate to sign a striker, and therefore, yes, the fee is going to be crazy, but when you consider the fees for certain strikers this summer that aren't guaranteed successes, whereas I think Wirtz would be a guaranteed success for whoever he signs for because he's a top player. But yeah, the problem is, like I said, City is going to be pushing big for him too. And Bayern Munich, we know as well. I saw that as well. Is not good as he's much more of a playmaker and dribbler. Don't think he'd fit at Liverpool. I don't know. Again, if Slot really wants him and sees a way to slot him in, then to lack of better words, to put him into the team, then I'm all for it. Because like I said, pure ability wise, he is top class. Train FC says he's not needed. Our midfield is the one area we don't need to upgrade. We need to focus on strikers. But this is what I was saying about strikers. This is what I was saying. You know? Fizz, I'm not going to believe. You know what I do think is going to happen to Ronaldo this summer? I think he's going to go back to Sporting. I think that will happen 100%. 100%. I think that will happen this summer. I think he'll come back to Europe so that he can play one season in Europe ahead of the World Cup. And apparently he's available as a free agent from Saudi this summer. So I do think Cristiano Ronaldo will be coming back to Europe this summer. But like I said, to his initial club that gave him his debut when he was 17, which is Sporting. Because Gyökeres is going to be leaving as well. That came out of nowhere, I know. Where is he going to play? Ian, like I said, I could see him playing as a false nine. Seriously. I thought he was Bayern Munich bound too, but they're gonna need to sign players, and the fee for him would be so massive that I'm not so sure Bayern can afford him. You know, I'm not so sure that Bayern can afford him. Would you take Rodrigo if it meant Diaz out? That's a tough one. I'm not sure. What do you guys think? Because one thing that Real Madrid fans do say about Rodrigo, yes, he's very talented, but they say he's not been very consistent. That's the problem. Yes, Claudia, nice to see you in the building. What if we sign Ronaldo? No, thank you. I would much rather sign Wirtz. Real, but I think Alvarez is better. Yeah, but Elena, trust me, by now, the club would know whether, like I said, the two top strikers every club will want this summer are Isaac and Alvarez. Trust me, our scouting team, our scouting department would have already sent some kind of message to them or try to call them to say, hey, are they available? If so, for what price? I think Isaac 1,000% out of the question. And my guess is maybe Alvarez is happy in Spain and he's only just joined. So probably he's not going to want to leave this summer. He'll know clubs will always kind of be interested. So my guess is maybe those two, Elena, are already out of the question. And if they are out of the question, then we have to look at alternatives. And like I was saying before, some of the alternative strikers on the market this summer would be risky because they're not Premier League proven. Like Darwin was risky for us and ultimately didn't end up being a success. You know, that's the thing. If we sign Wirtz, then James would be angry. Trust. I know, go 12 because James really wants Wirtz for City. See, Real says Alvarez isn't leaving. That's what I mean. I think there's a good chance. Remember when we played against City away with Jones and Szoboszlai up front? Tactically, we beat them comfortably. So perhaps Slot is going to go for that. Yeah, and the Vicar, like I said, you look at PSG this season, and there's a lot that I could see in the future. Lots of teams not playing with an out-and-out number 9. And having an extremely fluid system. And the way we play under Slot, I'm not so sure that he wants like a target man type striker like Osimhen or Gyökeres or Erling Haaland are. I'm not so sure that's his type of striker from what we've seen so far. Otherwise, Darwin would have gotten a lot more chances and Lucho wouldn't be playing so often down the middle. You know what I mean? Claudia says, low-key, this is genius. We know we don't use striker to be main scorer, so why not have them drop deep and create chances? And he can net in a few. Yeah, I mean, let me read you some of the hold on. Let me tell you some of the let me tell you some of his stats this season, just so you can see how he is kind of in the final third. And obviously, he's not the striker for Leverkusen. But look, this season, he has 10 goals, guys. 10 goals and 12 assists, 22 goal contributions from 30 Bundesliga games. He has 16 goals in all comps. And that's not him playing as a false 9. Like in his last game, for example, he got 2 assists. That's him playing more as an attacking midfielder. And this is what I mean. Like, he is scoring goals for Leverkusen. Like, let me see the last few seasons. When you look at the last few seasons, the last 2 seasons, he's gone 15 goals plus in all competitions. And then, so last season he got 19 assists, 18 goals in all comps. And this season, he has 16 goals and 14 assists. So that's 30 goal contributions. And like I said, he's not playing as a winger. He's not playing as a striker. You know? So this is why it could be freaking insane. Yo, Ty the Matt Foot King, nice to see you in the building. He flew to Blackpool and then Manchester, we're going to get outbid. No, I don't know, Yannick. I don't know. But boy, if we went for him, I would be buzzing. If we went for him, I'll be honest, I would be absolutely buzzing if we went for him. Because like I said, that's the only way I could really see it happening. If we decide that he would play in that type of position, so as a false nine, then he's an incredible playmaker. He'd be wasted as a false nine. Unknown Prussian, you say you watch the Bundesliga, but incredible playmaker is what I'm talking about in a false nine. Think about how Bobby Firmino was an incredible playmaker. I wouldn't say he was a clinical goal scorer, and this is what I mean. I don't think you need a clinical goal scorer. And or maybe even, I don't know. There's a lot of things that he could do with a player like that, you know? But what's for sure is he does chip in with goal contributions in the final third, like I just read you the stats from the last 2 seasons for Leverkusen. I saw Barca are wanting Darwin. Personally, I could see Darwin potentially going to Barca. I wouldn't count that out for sure. Jonathan David is a free agent. Can we go for him? Rahman, the reason why I don't see that one happening is I think he'll have many suitors this summer, given, like I said, many clubs are looking for a striker. He's available on a free. I think he'll go to a club that can guarantee him a starting position, which I don't think Liverpool would. I don't think he's a level above kind of what we have from what I've heard. At least, again, I don't watch Lille week in, week out, but from what I've heard, he's not... I don't think he would be ready right away to be the starting number 9 for Liverpool. I don't think so. And again, would he accept to be a squad player for us? I don't think he would, given the amount of teams that will be interested in him this summer. That's the thing. You know what I mean? If we were involved, I would think we would have heard from Ornstein, Fab, or Joyce by now. Let's see. Let's see. This is recent. Nico, I definitely don't think we'd sign Ugo Ekitike and Florian Wirtz. No chance. Like I said, it's either or, because Ugo Ekitike, like I just said, Frankfurt are apparently asking for 90 million euros this summer because so many clubs are desperate for a striker. So there's no chance we'd spend 90 million euros on a player like that it could still be risky for us. And then Florian Wirtz on top of it. I think no chance. Absolutely no chance. Look, Oki says, I'm a Dortmund fan, so I watch a lot of the Bundesliga, and I gotta say he can fit into any team in the world and definitely could play as a false 9. This is what I'm saying, bro. This is what I'm saying. I could see him playing. I could see him playing as a false 9. And maybe it's him and Szoboszlai in behind, and they kind of interchange depending on the dynamics of the game. Like, trust me, the way Slot has described how he wants to operate tactically is a very fluid system, meaning it doesn't have to mean that Wirtz would occupy that 9 role and then Szoboszlai would be behind and they never move during the game. I think he could envision it being very kind of fluid in the way we're depending on the scenario of the game. Maybe it's Szoboszlai that's pressing up top, and then maybe when we're in possession, it's Wirtz that moves a little bit further forward because he's better as a playmaker. So I think very much so. I don't think it's this thing of like, oh, we have Wirtz, he's going to play down the middle and he has to stick there and that's what happens and he finds the ball for Salah, he finds the ball for Lucho. I think it's much more fluid than that. Just like Slot has said in the past, he doesn't just play a 4-2-3 system or he doesn't just play a 4-2-3-1. It's fluid depending on the moment of the game, depending on our opposition, depending on many different factors. And I think the same could be said for a player like Wirtz, who is such a difference maker, who, like I said, will chip in with goal contributions. Because, look, the season isn't over. Well, actually, it is basically over. There's 1 game left for Leverkusen, but he has 30 goal contributions for Leverkusen this season. 30 goal contributions in 44 games. And he's playing as an attacking midfielder. That's big numbers that we're talking about here. And last season, he had even more. He played a bit more games, but last season he was on 37 goal contributions. So 37 goal contributions last season. This season, 30 goal contributions. This is what I mean. Sorry, it's not happening, says Rajib. There's no way Liverpool outbids Man City. You never know because Man City want the midfielder from AC Milan. That was Ornstein that that broke that news yesterday. Hold on, let me show you. Ornstein, this was from Ornstein yesterday, you guys. Wow, it's on 13 million views on Twitter, by the way. Reinders from AC Milan, guys. The 26-year-old AC Milan midfielder. He could cost a lot of money for them to bring it, and it seems like he's the number one target for City. So I don't see them spending like 100 million on a player like this, and then on top of that, Florian Wirtz. Like, surely they don't spend 200 million on their midfield just like that. That would be insane. Surely not, because they need to sign a right back too. That's who I was talking about. Yeah, exactly. That's who I was talking about. Theo, I would be more than very happy if this happened. This would be a marquee signing of the summer. And I would be more happy about something like this. Personally, I would be more happy about a signing like this than an Hugo Ekitike or a Benjamin Sesko. Not because I don't think those players... It's not that I don't think they could succeed at Liverpool. It's more for me... There's risk involved in those because they're not proven, I think, at the highest level consistently. Whereas I think Florian Wirtz is going to be a guaranteed success no matter where he goes. I think he's top class. Look at the way he performs for Germany as well. He's ready-made. He absolutely is. Unknown Prussian says, I love Liverpool, but I really want to see him at Bayern. Musiala and Wirtz playing together every week is too good to pass up. Nah, I want him at Liverpool. 60 million? Oh, okay. 60 million? Wirtz could be our false nine. Bro, that's what I was just saying. How much would Wirtz cost? Probably around 100 million euros is the price tag I've heard. Reinders is happy at AC Milan, so I don't think he's going to go to City. Bro, if City pushes hard for him, I don't think he's going to be able to turn down those wages. The wages are going to be massive. You know? City are... I think on one player this summer, we're going to be willing to spend big. Why? I think we'll be willing to spend big on one player... Because Darwin is going to leave for big money this summer. And with that money that we get for Darwin, I think we'll spend that money on a marquee signing this summer. That's my personal prediction. I could really see how that would be the case. Again, because we'd be selling a player for lots of money. And I think there's a good chance he goes to Saudi, Darwin Liverpool, Leo are going to be Leverkusen FC, bro. For Leverkusen FC, I'm all for it. If it means us getting Frimpong and Florian Wirtz, I'm not saying no to that. Jalapeno says Wirtz would be incredible if we get him. Yeah, Jalapeno. And we were just saying, at least my personal belief is if it happened, I believe that... Oh, let's go, guys! David Ornstein just broke it as well, guys. David Ornstein is... just drummed a BOMBA. I want W's in the building, guys. David Ornstein just said Liverpool make contact with Florian Wirtz camp to express their interest in signing the playmaker if he leaves Bayer Leverkusen. He's keen on moving to England. Liverpool are long admirers of him, but it's unclear whether the 22-year-old is planning to leave Germany this summer. Oh my god. Guys, I'm doing a breaking right now. Let's freaking go, David Ornstein, guys. I want everybody spamming those W's right now. David Ornstein is, for me, for England at least, and he's number one, in my opinion, for dropping transfer news. Number one. Let's go, guys. Come on. I want everybody spamming those W's. For those of you saying, oh, I don't know about the source, this and that. Bro, when David Ornstein drops a BOMBA, he did it for Szoboszlai, for example, in the past. Bro, we ended up signing Szoboszlai. Not saying, obviously, there's going to be a lot more competition for Florian Wirtz. Because, like I said, because City want him and Bayern. But still, when David Ornstein says it, you guys, come on. W's, guys. Everybody spam those W's. I think it could be as a false nine. Arun, thank you very much for the super chat. Who says ideal signing this summer. Bro, that would be my new ideal signing now that I see it could be possible. Bro, I'm too hyped right now. I'm too hyped. I'm gonna need to calm down. You guys are gonna need to calm me down, because when David Ornstein reports on us there's it's really somewhere, and that we really have big interest. And obviously, he apparently visited the training ground as well, you guys. Guys, when he came to Liverpool, so he came to Liverpool on Tuesday. He visited our AXA training ground as well, you guys. Damn, I didn't realize there was a live. My bad. Updating me on all the news. Patrick, David Ornstein just dropped a bomba that we want to sign Florian Wirtz. That he came on Tuesday for a meeting. He saw our training ground, and we want to sign him. The only thing is, it all depends on whether he's willing to leave Germany, because Bayern really want him to. That's the thing. Bayern really want him to. So is he going to be willing to leave Germany? Hopefully, because I could see him be our marquee signing this summer, because the striker options aren't that great. That's my personal prediction. If we do go through with a big bid for him with the money that we would get from selling Darwin, I think there's a much bigger chance our scouting team is willing to take a big risk, spend big on a Florian Wirtz, rather than, like I said, a Hugo Ekitike or a Benjamin Sesko or a player around those names, because I just think there's a lot more risk. And like I told you guys before, the reported fees for those players anyways are massive. That's the thing, So, oh my God, you guys. Guys, let me know in the chat right now. The source for all this history, the source for all this right now is David Ornstein. He's the most reliable in England. He's the most reliable source in England. He's the one that first reported on Szoboszlai, and then he got done not long after. So you cannot say that this is a bad source. No chance. No chance, bro. It's a bomba, baby. It's a bomba. Guys, let me know. Let me know. Do you think this can happen? Do you think there's a chance? Or do you think no chance? Bro. It's going to be hard for Leverkusen next season, bro. Imagine. And apparently the manager, they want to get, by the way, to replace... they apparently want Ten Hag to replace Xabi Alonso. That's what people are saying. David Ornstein is the English Fabrizio. Yeah, bro. He wouldn't be tweeting it if the initial reports that he came on Tuesday weren't true. Let's freaking go! Guys, I'm getting too excited right now. FSG better splash the... Bro, like I was saying, usually we don't spend big on one player. We did, though. We did for Darwin Núñez, to be fair. Patrick says, I'd love to see him playing Prem ball, but you'll need to calm me down right now because I'm getting too excited. I'm not the one. Don't ask me to calm anything down because I'm the opposite. I get too excited. Especially Wirtz. Every time I watch him, he's such an exciting footballer that I would absolutely love him. Absolutely, I would love him. So, yeah, don't ask me to calm you down. Don't ask me to calm you down. Agent Frimpong will bring him. Oh my God, bro. We go for the double swoop. Bro, we would go for the whole lot next season. Because like I was saying before, for me, I can imagine him as a false nine. Every time I've watched him, I could see him as a false nine. And like I said, I don't think Slot, from what we've seen so far, I don't think he's the type to go for a target man type striker, poacher, like a Gyökeres or an Osimhen. I don't see that happening personally. That might just be me. But yeah, don't ask me to calm you guys down because that's my problem. I need to be calmed down. So it's the polar opposite for when I'm involved in any kind of transfer news. Oh God. Oh God. I need to calm down. I need to calm down. David Ornstein, bomba, baby. Oh, everybody's getting hyped in the building. I think James Pierce retweeted it as well, you guys. Szoboszlai and Wirtz rotate around their positions. Exactly. Jalapeno, this is what I was saying. People think that it's like there's just one striker and you can't move from that position. from what we've seen so far from Arne Slot, I think there's a lot more fluidity. And so I could genuinely see this happening, and he plays down the middle. Oh my lord, oh my lord. Leo, hydrate to make it happen. I'm gonna hydrate for Florian Wirtz to be our marquee signing of the summer. Oh my god, Patrick says absolute scenes if Frimpong scores against Real Madrid next season. Imagine. Luke says how much would Wirtz cost? I think probably around 100 million euros is what I've heard. For the player. Who else would you buy? There's a few other positions we need to look at, but bro. I feel as though he'll go to... Jamie says, I think he'll go to City. You think City? Really? Nah, bro, he's got to come to Liverpool. Don't get your hopes up. He may be drawn to another club very soon. Footy fan thinks... You really think Bayern, though? You really think Bayern are going to spend that much? Leverkusen is Liverpool's academy? I don't know just yet, Patrick. We haven't sealed one deal yet. I would say Southampton still. But... Getting too excited. Imagine we sign him. Just imagine. It would be too crazy, brother. It would be too crazy, brother. Nah, bro, I don't think Isaac or Alvarez can happen. That's the thing. Est-ce que tu peux voir Rodrigo aller au Barça? Nah, I definitely don't see a world where Real Madrid would sell Rodrigo to a Barca when there'll be lots of other clubs interested. They wouldn't sell him to their biggest rivals. Bro, you need to buy Patrick Schick. He's a good player. He is a good player, indeed. Claudia says, is Gyökeres to Arsenal? Here we go. Not yet. Here we go. But it seems like they do really want him. Claudia says, Leo, I really want Haven Jotaku. Yo, Leo, what's good? I would love to sign Wirtz, but who do you think he would play over? I haven't got a clue. I think he would be our false nine, and I think he would interchange with Soboslai. I think there would be a lot of fluidity between the attacking midfielder, which is what Soboslai plays today, and who plays through the middle, interplaying between the two wingers. So I think, yeah, he would play as a false nine and kind of play between him and we got a fake James in the building, playing between Soboslai as well. That would be my prediction if we got him, and why I think we are interested in him. That's why I think so. Leo, I really want this signing to happen, but I don't know if it can happen because I don't see us going in for a double swoop in two teams, Bournemouth and Leverkusen. If we get Wirtz, then I'd say Frimpong or Huijsen. I don't think Huijsen's going to happen, Claudia. If I'm... Apparently, Real Madrid really want to sign a center back. Huijsen wants the Real Madrid move. The release clause can be paid in installments, so that's going to help Real Madrid get the deal over the line. I think Xavi Alonso is going to sign Huijsen this summer. I don't think he's going to end up joining us. I think he's going to end up going to Real Madrid. So I think we don't go for a double swoop at Bournemouth. I think we just get Kirkez. And then for center back, hopefully we get Ibu Konate to sign a new deal. That's my hope. Oh, Sasha's trying to leave. Hold on. Oh my lord. News about Kirkez. Nothing new about Kirkez just yet. Nothing new about Kirkez either. I know, bro. I know David Ornstein dropped a bomb. I know David Ornstein did. Because look, Xavi Simons, for example, is reportedly a player that we wanted, right? Xavi Simons. I would rather spend more on a Florian Wirtz. I think Florian Wirtz is guaranteed success. He's that good. Yeah, I think Madrid will get Dean Huijsen. Seriously. Every summer, it's the same thing. We're going to sign someone big and end up with no one. Devendra, I get what you're saying, but this is why I think this summer will be different. Because we're selling players for big money. That's the difference. Darwin Núñez, there's no way we're going to let him go if it's not for a big fee. And Saudi is willing to pay a big fee. So this is what I mean. I'm not saying that our owners are suddenly going to pull out all these funds out of nowhere. No, it's because we're going to sell lots of players. Just Kelleher and Darwin, I think combined will get us 100 million. And that's the money that we can spend on a marquee player, whether that's a striker or someone like a Florian Wirtz. But like I said, I would much rather we go big on a Florian Wirtz. I would much rather that than go big on a Xavi Simons. That's me personally. Because I just think, like I said, for me, Florian Wirtz is guaranteed success. He's that good already. And obviously he's young, so he would only improve. Space, like I said, I think he would play as a false 9. Wirtz would be good, but you ain't getting him. We've seen that before. Midfielders rejecting Liverpool. It's possible. Man City are willing more. Nah. You think City would offer that much money for Wirtz, bro? No way. It would be a world-class signing if it happened. No doubt about it, it would be world-class. But let's see. It's just nice, guys. When David Ornstein drops news, you know we really want the player. Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, that too. Look, Shobit, very good point. Thank you for the super chat. Who says Tyler Morton / Harvey Elliott plus cash deal happening. I'm not so sure. Actually, I think in the past Leverkusen didn't want Tyler Morton, so maybe he ends up going there. I don't know. But what's for sure is, if this type of deal happened, I do think probably would mean Harvey Elliott would leave this summer, and I do think he could leave for a pretty big fee, 40 to 50, between 30 to 40, between 30 to 50 million, I think is what Harvey Elliott could go for. Apparently Dortmund want to sign him, apparently Brighton want to sign him, and like you just mentioned, I think Tyler Morton will leave too. I could see him leaving for 10 million. So let's say, and this is what I was saying before, I'm not deluded about the fact we don't spend that much money, but it's about the fact we're going to have a lot of outgoings too. You know, so like you said, Shelby, selling Tyler Morton and Harvey, I think we could get 50 million for both. And there's been reports that many clubs are interested in them, you know? So I'm just saying, like, that's where I think we can spend big on a player that we think is going to be the difference maker. And I think Florian Wirtz is that good. Look, Joe Jones says he's tactically mature for his age. He drops deep, drags defenders out. That's false 9, bro. False 9. Patrick says I'd be okay with Harvey leaving if this happened. It wouldn't be that big of a miss. I mean, I think he would go on to be a top player somewhere else, but the fact he hasn't played at all this season tells you that Slot doesn't have him in his plans in the short term. That's the thing. I know, Jalapeno, I've said it time and time again, I really don't want Harvey Elliott to leave, but at the same time, if you're him, what are you going to do? Because Slot barely plays him, and he's at an age and he's at the quality already where he could start for a Brighton, he could start for a Borussia Dortmund, and imagine how much better he would get if he started for those clubs week in, week out for his development, you know? So there's a part of me too that's like, we also have to think about him as a player. As much as he loves Liverpool and as much as we love him, if he's just going to be a squad player and play here and there bits and pieces, that could hinder his development. It really could. And of course, he'll be thinking about this summer. He'll be thinking about that. Stephanie says, we haven't had a player like him since Coutinho. Allow me to dream, Leo. I'm dreaming. I don't care if it's not realistic, because yes, there's a part of me that knows it's not that realistic. He is one of the most sought after talents this summer, yeah. And apparently admiring him and looking at him for a long time. Although we're probably not the only top club that's been looking and admiring him for a long time. Let's be real. That doesn't mean much because every top club would want a Florian Wirtz. And I do think he is that good. He would get into any team. He would get into any team. I really think so. He's that good. Nico says, I'm already going to be buying the shirt. What number would Wirtz put? Nah. What number would Wirtz choose? Nah, bro. Don't do it yet. Milo says Elliot is the same as Wirtz. That you rate him as highly as Wirtz, bro. Chris says, bro, what's happening with Kirkez? It seems like we still want to sign Kirkez and Dean Huijsen too, but like I said before, I think Dean Huijsen is Madrid bound. Now that Xavi Alonso is taking over, he's going to play a 3 at the back. They want to sign another center back, and they want to sign him. Fabrizio Romano said. So I think he's going to choose Madrid over the Premier League clubs that want him. Nah, but when he came back from his injury, Jamie, he's just been different level as well. So that tells you everything about his mentality as well. The fact he picked up such a serious injury in an ACL and then he was able to come back says it all. LFC6 UCL says this window is going to be so exciting. I know, right? Can you give me advice for my SATs? I did terribly on my SATs, Ahmad, so I'm sorry. I can't give you advice, but I can wish you the best of luck. I hope you do as well as you can. I'm Connor. Good luck with your exams as well. I'm doing good. I'm getting a little too excited. That's all. We'll chuck ridiculous money at him. Neil, you're right, but let's see. Maybe because they have quite a few different positions to fill this summer because they're going to be going through a major rebuild. Maybe they don't spend that much money on a single player like Wirtz would. And I do think we have the money for a. You know how Kvara. In January was that type of Quaradona from Napoli. We were interested in him. I think he just ended up going to PSG because he'd rather go to PSG. But I think we would have been ready to splash the cash on him, you know? And so, like I said, I think if it's that type of player that we think comes in and immediately is this big difference maker, then I think we're willing to spend big, like we were with Caicedo, etc. So I think money isn't going to be the biggest issue here because, like I said, there's many different players like Kelleher, like Tyler Morton, like Darwin, like potentially Jota or Chiesa, a lot of players that will likely be leaving this summer, freeing up wages as well. That will mean that we can go big on a player. We deserve a player like that. I agree, bro. We deserve a player like that. Absolutely. Swedish LFC supporter, nice to see you in the building, says, hello Leo, I'm back to the stream, so why I was not here many times, I had football practice. Nice to see you back in the building. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very interesting transfer window. Will Chiesa get the title Premier League medal? Yes, Ashwini. Yes, he will. Do you think there's any chance Wirtz will stay at Leverkusen? He's guaranteed to move, it seems like. So I think it's either he goes to Bayern, City, or Liverpool this summer because Xavi Alonso, like I said, is leaving Leverkusen. It looks like Ta is leaving Leverkusen. So a lot of the key pieces of that team will be leaving. He'll know this is the time to leave as well because he wants to compete at the highest level. You know what I mean? No, Oxford. Everybody's getting so hyped in the building. Everybody's getting so hyped. Imagine the Frimpong Wirtz connection, bro. I would get too excited. Oh my god, I would get too excited. I would get way too excited. Do you see that United fans comment, Leo? We could convince Wirtz if we win Europa. I didn't see that. That's incredible. Yo, Chris, nice to see you in the building. It looks like Frimpong will be joining. Yes, it looks like it's going to be happening. Bro, the thing that will just be hard is how to seduce Florian Wirtz to choose us over Bayern Munich because he's obviously German. At Bayern, you're guaranteed trophies, and he'll be able to play with the likes of Musiala and stuff, you know? So, let's see. There's no way Man United are getting Wirtz. No chance. Will Bajcetic be a starter next season? I think he could be a squad player next season. Oh man, people are getting too excited. Wait, Frimpong was born. He sounds. Yeah, Patrick. Well, he played 9 years in City's academy, so he would be homegrown, which is great. Eden, thank you. Some positive news: the fact that we want Florian Wirtz. That shows that we're gonna go big on a player this summer, and we're gonna spend big this summer. From Iran with love, baby, waiting to join a ship as a seafarer, and I was heartbroken that I couldn't see Liverpool's final matches due to the connection issues. Keep up the good work, my friend. Big up, shout out to you and the the Scousers from Iran. Possibly the next. Oh, bro, I would get too excited. We need to calm down. Yes, bro, Leverkusen. They can't keep hold of their key players this summer because Alonso's leaving and all the pieces are gonna break in some ways, you know. So yeah, I think I think both Wirtz, Ta is already confirmed to leave. Frimpong, those three I think will leave, and obviously that's gonna change Leverkusen's entire team because it's some of their key players. Oh, Patrick says if Bajcetic goes back to how he was, he'll be unreal. Absolutely. Absolutely. City mean business this summer. Yeah, but they're going to, like I said, need to fill a lot of position, a lot of different positions. And I don't think we'll get Hoyson. Like I said, I think he'll go to Real Madrid. I think because they want him. Bayern Munich are still confident about signing Wirtz, though. They're still confident about signing him. But I heard he says he loves food, and I thought back to the iconic Leo's Cook stream. Yes. Source is David Ornstein. J. Gara. David Ornstein. My grandma. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Cold Omar. I'm really sorry to hear that. How about Ryan Cherki? I could see that happening too, potentially. Are you going to watch the Club World Cup in June? Potentially a few games. Not most, though, I don't think. Just because of the teams. Just because of the teams. My dream is that Morgan Gibbs White goes to City and we get Florian Wirtz. That's my dream. That is really my dream. We're even more confident. Well, us, the fans, maybe, but what about the club? What about the club? You know? As a Bayern fan, I hope Liverpool get Wirtz if we don't City. You don't want him to go to City? You don't want him to go to City. Yeah, especially the teams that are involved, Patrick. Obviously, if we were involved, I'd be all for it, but we're not involved. So that's the thing. You know, that's the problem. I thought Liverpool and Leverkusen was the same club, bro. Maybe soon enough. Soon enough. Soon enough, hopefully. When is the summer transfer officially starting? I believe June 1st. But you can already make contact, obviously, before and stuff like that, especially with the release clauses and agreements. There's different things you can do even before it officially opens. You know what I mean? Yeah, Maze, it's not looking good for Salah just because of his form recently. Vazudev, thank you very much for the super chat. Who says, will this be our annual rejection, Leo? Well, I don't know about rejection just yet because I think every top club will be interested. So I wouldn't see it as rejection because he's the odds-on favorite option is for him to go to Bayern anyways. You know what I mean? So I'm not. I think hopefully it could be a surprise. How about that? A surprise. But yeah, I don't think it's expected that he'll go to Liverpool. It's just nice to see that we want a player of that kind of ability. You know what I mean? And the type of price. If we're ready to possibly spend 115, it would not be surprise me if we go for Isak. No, but Swedish LSC supporter, I don't even think Newcastle will let him go for any price. I don't think they would let him go for any price. That's the thing, you know? So I definitely don't think he's going to leave Newcastle because they don't need to sell him. They have years left on his contract, and they can even tell him, listen, just stay with us one more season and we'll sell you next summer, because they'll want him in the Champions League. And at least if they have a season, they can prepare for his replacement. But this summer, I really don't see it happening. I really don't see him leaving Newcastle, especially how well Newcastle is doing right now. They could end up finishing, if they win their last 2 league games of the season, Newcastle guys, they would finish second, by the way. They would finish ahead of Arsenal. I would love to see this too, Trickster. Will you take Ta? I think he's off to Barcelona, isn't he? Ishar says, do you think Ibu is worth 200,000 a week? If it's that or him running down his contract, then he's worth 200,000 a week because we let it run down to the last year. Because listen, maybe Real Madrid is just going to say, we don't want to spend a fee on him this summer. We'd rather just wait till next summer and get you on a free and kind of top up the player that way. That's a big risk for us. It could happen. I mean, it happened to Trent, you know? So if it's basically like the possibility of losing him on a free, then I think he's worth that because he's incredible. You know what I mean? Just thought I'd let you know. Oh, you're making me hungry now, Patrick. Ta is going to Bayern. Is it Bayern that he's going to? Bro, are they signing another? No way. Still heartbroken, Trent left. Yeah. David says, I got a selfie and my jersey signed by him the day he became vice captain in 2023. Oh, David, so you were there for the preseason tour? I'm sorry to hear that. Wouldn't rule out Anthony Gordon. I agree, Gara. He seems like he's meant to be a Liverpool player. Yeah, I could see Ta. No, you think Ta? I think Dean Huijsen is going to be a Madrid player. That's just my prediction. It's just from everything he said, everything I've seen, it just seems like it's bound to happen. And then Ta seems like we'll either go to Bayern or Barca. One of those two. There's no way Wirtz is coming, says Taj. Jonathan Taj is currently linked with 3 clubs: Madrid, Barca, Bayern. Scored 4 goals. They won 9-0. Who did they play against? Ashwini. Who did they play against? Yeah, I think either Barca or Bayern. It's not confirmed yet for Jonathan Ta. Not yet. I know, Babat, that's because Salah wants to break the all-time assist record, but unfortunately, our other attackers couldn't finish for him, so it doesn't look like he's going to be breaking the all-time record, sadly enough. It doesn't look like it's going to be happening. Yes, Raphaël, toi aussi passe une bonne fin de journée. Yon is in the building. Nice to see you. How's your day? It's a 12-inch pizza. Jesus. That's we could all have it together. That sounds... What did you get on it? Is it just margarita? Do you think we should sell Darwin? Yes, because we need the money to go big on a player like Wirtz this summer. Or Alvarez. But I think Wirtz is maybe more likely. Some terrible team in Saudi? Okay. Because 9-0, that's crazy. Imagine if we sign Xavi Simons and Frimpong. We're going to be Netherlands FC next season. Eden, if Xavi Simons looks like we would need to pay big money for him. Apparently, the reports are saying it would be like 85 million euros for Florian Wirtz. I would personally rather spend big on a Florian Wirtz than a Xavi Simons. Vazudev, thank you again for the super chat, who says your choice for center back and left back if Kirkez and Huijsen, if they're not signed. Okay, so my choice for left back would be Jorel Hato from Ajax. I've just heard so much good. I would say Jorel Hato from Ajax because he also fills both positions. And then center back, if not Dean Huijsen, what could be another good option at center back? Well, maybe Jorel Hato. He freaking fits both. Well, what's for sure is I'll just say Jorel Hato because genuinely he fits both. Genuinely, he fits both. What do you think of Alexander Sorloth? He's a good striker, but I don't think he's the type of striker for slot. Like I was saying before, I don't see us signing an Osimhen, Gyökeres type striker who are more big men, poacher, finishers in the box, making those runs like an Erling Haaland. I don't think that's an slot type striker, so I don't see that type of deal happening personally. I don't see it. Bastoni would cost too much, bro. Let's just take Jorel. Yeah, bro, he's so good. Omar says Real Madrid are going to sign Florian Wirtz because Xabi Alonso is also going to Madrid. I don't think that's going to happen. It doesn't seem like that's the position Madrid want. And I don't think KDB is going to happen either. I don't think KDB is going to happen. Mark Gahey. Charlotte, nice to see you back in the building. Mark Gahey could be an option because apparently he's going to be available for cheaper than the initial thought price, which before they were asking for ludicrous money. I think he only has 1 year, if I'm not mistaken, I think he only has 1 year left on his deal at Crystal Palace. So I think there's a chance Mark Gahey, maybe we look for him this summer. It's possible. That's a good shout as a squad player. My main man, Florian Wirtz, if we sign him, I never sleep for the whole day. I think for the whole summer, bro, if he's your favorite player. Oh no, Abdi thinks that City's going to sign Wirtz and Reinders from AC Milan. I hope that's not true. I haven't seen the left back from Benfica. I haven't seen him enough to have an opinion. Who would be our left winger if we sell Lucho? Anthony Gordon from Newcastle. I just think he's meant to play for Liverpool. Anthony Gordon. If Lucho left. Chiesa, yes. Yon, I could see Chiesa leaving the club in the summer. You know, he wasn't even on the bench in the last match day against Arsenal. It's not looking good for him, unfortunately, in his future. It's not looking good, unfortunately. I want him so badly. Spaghetti Mafia is going to leave. Very good chance of it, yeah. Inacio, that could be an option too. There's many different players for center back, but I do think our number one targets is the duo from Bournemouth, like we were saying, Kerkez at left back and Huijsen at center back. I could definitely see Kerkez happening. Definitely. I could see that one specifically happening. Do you think we can get... I think Huijsen is going to be off to Real Madrid, like I said, to join Xabi Alonso. Spurs have made contact with Liverpool in terms of Diogo Jota. How much do you think we can sell Jota for? I think 40 to 50 million. 40 to 50 million, I think, is what we'd sell Jota for. And if that happened, and we also sold Darwin, then, like I said, I could see us signing a Florian Wirtz false nine type player, and then also maybe a more of a proper striker like Liam Delap, potentially. Someone like that for those positions. Who knows? But yeah, I think there could be a chance, honestly, that both Darwin and Jota leave this summer. It could be possible. It really could be possible. I wouldn't rule it out. It just depends, like you said, on the amount of money that's offered for those players. You know, that's the thing. Let me dream, Zayn. That's how I feel. I feel the same way. Let me dream. Do you want Harvey to leave? No, I want Harvey to stay. But like I said, is Slot going to guarantee minutes? I'm not so sure because he hasn't been able to do that this season. You know? And Yon, for Wirtz, we don't know exactly how much it would be. Probably his price will go up given City and Bayern are also interested. So unfortunately, it could be a kind of bidding war unless he comes out and says, listen, I just want to join Bayern. Or listen, I want to join the Premier League and I want to join Liverpool. Something like that, you know? So we'd have to see. We'd have to see. Can we get Palmer? Nah, Soma. I don't think Chelsea would sell to a rival. I don't see that happening. No chance. Daylan, the moment we find out whether Frimpong's coming to Liverpool officially or not, I would tell you. Trust me. The source for this info, Umar, is David Ornstein. David Ornstein dropped a BOMBA less than an hour ago. Less than an hour ago. Is there a chance for both Alvarez and Wirtz? Nah, that's too much of a stretch. I'll dream on one of the two, but I'm not that deluded to say we'll get both. That would be way too crazy. That would be way too wild. Sorry, but no chance. No chance of that. I gotta be honest with you there. You have to draw a line somewhere. So look, this is a new exclusive from Fabrizio Romano, guys. Real Madrid have now sent formal contract proposal to Dean Huijsen in his camp, as talks are ongoing to sign the Spanish center back. I'm telling you, Real remain his priority. Nah, bro. I'm sorry. For me, Dean Huijsen is out of the question. Just because when Real Madrid comes knocking and you're a Spanish player, and he said before that he wants to join Madrid, and now Fabrizio is confirming that Real Madrid is his priority, he's definitely Madrid bound. Dean Huijsen, 100%. And the fact he'll be part of that new era with Xabi Alonso, we're not getting him, bro. I'm going to be realistic with that one. I think maybe it means that means we go for Jorel Hato, though, from Ajax, and we become Dutch FC. Because we get Jorel Hato and Frimpong in the defensive positions. Charlotte, thank you for the super chat, who says FSG has to tell Slot that if he wants squad investment, he needs to rotate next season. Love Adne, but it's his only mistake. Yeah, I mean, that's... Is it a mistake, though? Because we did win a lot of games in the league this season. I feel like it's frustrating for us fans, but can we really say mistake? We'll have to see next season. We will have to see next season. Babat says, Leo, who's been the most disappointing player for you this season? For me, Darwin. For me, like you say, Jorel Quansah, but my expectations for Quansah aren't that high because he's a young player. He's still inexperienced. For me, Darwin Núñez, because I fully backed him to be a success. I thought that under a new manager, we could see the best of Darwin. We could see him transformed. But the reality is, I think this is his worst season, actually, of the three. I think Darwin was better in his first two seasons. So for me, the biggest disappointment was Darwin, because I always believed he could make it at Liverpool. And now, for the first time, I think we should sell him this summer. I say that for the first time. I think his Liverpool career is over. And you could see it, the fact that he hasn't been starting anymore for us. It's clear to see that he's going to be leaving this summer. Did Fabrizio Romano say something? Let me check. Did he say something? Let me have a look. $27 Darwin was better than $9 Darwin. Yeah, Jalapeno. For me, there's no doubt that for me that's the biggest disappointment, because like I said, I do think the first two seasons he was better than this one. Unfortunately, that's just the reality. What about Guirassy from Dortmund? Not completely convinced. Isaac or Marmoush next season, or Alvarez? Bro, we're not getting Isaac or Marmoush, but Alvarez, you never know. Although it seems like Alvarez is happy in Spain. That's why, like I said, I think maybe a marquee signing would be more so someone like Wirtz, who is going to leave Leverkusen this summer. That's what everybody's expecting. Ashwini, are you saying to play or to watch for favorite position? If we sign Jorel Hato and Frimpong, we can be considered a Dutch FC. Absolutely, we can. I don't like to be that negative person, but I just don't think Wirtz will join us. I think it is unlikely, but I'm going to believe until it's no longer possible. I'm going to believe because I'm a dreamer. I'm a dreamer. So Alvarez is my dream, but like I said, I think there's a small chance of that one happening, because I don't think he'll leave this summer from Madrid unless some crazy thing happened. I was at the Spurs game. Oh, lucky. Jalapeno says, I think Guirassy is 29, probably too old for us to sign right now. Yep. Let me check. Is he that old? I don't think is he 29? Oh, you're right. He's 29. Yeah. No, that's not the type of profile we'd sign. I don't think so. No. And this goes back, bro. This goes back to what I was saying before. This is why I can't see this Wirtz deal happening, and I can't see us spending big on it, because I don't think we're convinced by the striker options that are available this summer. I think we would have been willing to spend big on an Isaac or Alvarez, but I bet that by now, we obviously don't know officially, but they would have called up both Newcastle, and they would have called up, you best believe they would have called up Atletico Madrid to see if those players are available. And my guess is I don't think they are going to be leaving their clubs this summer. Kapil says Slot wants creativity. Remember the Kvara links. Yeah, and that's what Wirtz would bring you. the creativity, and especially given that Trent is leaving as well, he brought us a lot of creativity. I think he had the second most. Didn't he have the second most assists this season? Let me check in the league. For Liverpool. So Salah has 18 assists in the league, and then in second is Trent, but he is tied with Szoboszlai. But still, like Trent, even though he was less involved, I would say, in the attacking side of things than under Klopp, he still brought a major creative outlet for us. So the fact that we're losing Trent means that we probably have to bring in creativity in other areas. I mean, Frimpong would definitely bring, attacking threat, and Wirtz definitely would as well. So we will see. To play Ashwini, it depends. It depends. But not on the attacking side of things. That's, I would say, more in defense. More in defense is where I prefer to play, because that's where I'm better. Anthony Robinson, again, I think he's not the type of profile we go for because of his age and the fact that anyways, Fulham are asking for a big fee. Anthony Robinson is 27 years old. He turns 28 this summer. So I don't think we spend 40 to 50 million on a player that'll be 28 at the start of the season. I don't see it personally. I really don't. I'm not convinced by Jonathan David for Liverpool. I'm not completely convinced. I got to be honest, you guys. I got to be honest there. Would you take Gyökeres? Baki, from what I've heard, again, I don't think he's a slot type striker. But I could be mistaken. Again, if Slot wants Gyökeres, I'm all for it. But I haven't seen us linked to him, Without football matches, yeah, Shwini. But this summer transfer window, I think we'll have lots of live streams because we're going to be hyped up about this window. Yo, Johnny, nice to see you in the building, who says, sorry, late to the stream. You may have answered this, but what's your thoughts on our front three next season? Do you think Darwin and Jota will leave or keep one as a squad player? Is a striker on the cards? 100%, Johnny. 100% we're going to sign a striker this summer. And I think Darwin will 100% leave. And Jota, I think the plan is probably, like you said, to keep Jota as a squad player unless there's a bid that's interesting enough. And apparently Wolves and Spurs are interested in Jota. If, let's say, there was a bid that was between 40 to 50 million for Jota, I could see us letting him go. But otherwise, I think the plan is to keep him as a squad player. So I think a lot of the moving pieces with our front three, Johnny, if I could predict, I think it depends on the bids that come in for them, So for example, if Saudi bids 75 million for Lucha this summer, I don't think it's out of the question for him to leave. So I think it all depends on how much clubs are willing to spend on certain players. It's all dependent on that. But what I will say is, of our 6 attacking players, right, if you include Chiesa, I think the one that's, for me, 100% gonna leave, it is Darwin. Because he can bring us major money. And with that money, we can reinvest in an attacker who can play down the middle. Whether that's a Florian Wirtz, an Ugo Ekitike, maybe an Alvarez, who knows. But someone to fill that position. Because clearly, that's not Lucho's best position. And he doesn't seem to rate Jota or Darwin to be the starting player in that position. Because he hasn't in recent weeks or this season in key games. You know what I mean? And Johnny, this is what I was saying. The reason why I think we are linked with Florian Wirtz right now, and the reason why I could see it happening, is if he plays as a false 9 for us. I could see that happening. I could. He has 30 goal contributions this season. I could see that happening because we already obviously have Szoboszlai who plays in that 10. We have Harvey Elliott. And the reason why I see that happening is because I don't think we're that convinced by the other strikers that are available on the market. I think our dream, Johnny, would have been an Alexander Isak or Alvarez, but apparently Alvarez is happy in Spain. He only just moved there a year ago to Madrid, to Atletico Madrid. And then Isaac, for me, he's unsellable by Newcastle from a Newcastle point of view. They're going to get Champions League football. They'll finish in second place in the Premier League this season if they win their last 2 remaining games. So their future is looking bright as well. So that's kind of where I think we are willing to spend big on a Florian Wirtz, because he would slot right into the team. He would be a starter and a star player for us right away. And that's why we'd be willing to sanction so much money for a single player, which is not usually something that we do. You know what I mean? Bobby vibes. Oh, I think they are quite different, but I'm all for a false 9. All for a false 9, especially because, like I said, it's not like he's an attacking midfielder who doesn't bring you that many goals. I was checking, he had 37 goal contributions last season in all comps, Florian Wirtz, and this season 30 goal contributions. So he very much gets involved in the final third, and he very much is a threat in terms of creating for others. You know, he gets more assists than he gets goals, but he also gets goals. You know, he has double digits in goals in the Bundesliga this season. He's on 10. So yeah, I could see it. I could see it happening. But like I said, it all depends on whether he wants to stay in Germany, because if he stays in Germany, he would go to Bayern, or if somehow Man City offers that much more money, I don't know. Only time will tell. We'll have to see. No chance Olise leaves Peck. No chance Olise leaves Bayern. No chance. No chance. What about Watkins from Villa? Too old, I think. Too old. Like we were talking about Guirassy before. Guirassy is 29 years old. I don't think that's the type of player and age kind of bracket that we're looking for, from what I've seen from us, at least in the past. Would you sign Hato? Yes, I would sign Hato as a center back, and I would sign Kerkez as a left back 100%, because it looks like Dean Huijsen is off to Real Madrid. It's so clear to see that one. It's so easy to see that that's what's going to happen with that one, you know? On a less serious note, do you think the squad will be up much come Monday against Brighton? I think we're going to get beat against Brighton. Already, Johnny, Brighton away is a difficult enough of a game. Brighton want to win it because for them, it's actually important. And for us, I think we're still going to be hungover from Dubai and Ibiza. So, yeah, I think Monday night could be a painful one for us. Because look, if you look at the league table, I think Brighton really want to win this one. Hold on. Brighton, when you look at the league table, you guys, Brighton is on 55 points, so they could still finish 8th, and they could get closer to 7th position. So Brighton will really want to win on Monday night, whereas we're just going to be hungover. David says, yeah, Leo, I'm from Singapore and was there for the preseason when Klopp appointed Trent vice captain. What's crazier was that Trent interacted with all the fans at the hotel right after that, including me. Damn, I still can't believe he was just given the vice captaincy a year ago and now he's left for Madrid. I cannot believe that. How did we give him the vice captaincy when there was a chance he would leave on a free? It's hard to believe, because that isn't an honor to be vice captain. It's unreal coming into the last 3 to 4 games and actually not caring. Yeah, I mean, it's never nice to lose, but yeah, not overly caring, that's for sure. See you soon, Ashwini. Good night. Joe Bellingham, I don't think that's the type of player we'd sign. It seems like Dortmund want him, though. It seems like Dortmund want him. And Benjamin Sesko, I was saying with Gyökeres, I don't think he's the type of striker we'd sign. Same with Osimhen. I don't see it. I already can imagine the atmosphere at Anfield if we sign Florian. Oh my god, I would dream too, because he could be that kind of magician in the midfield, like we had Coutinho back in the day. Like we had Coutinho. We haven't had a player like Coutinho in so long, and I would say Florian Wirtz is a magician type player. He is such a joy to watch. He is such a joy to watch. Can we sign Chris Wood? That's another one I don't see happening. Have you got a ticket for the final game of the season or just in Liverpool for the weekend/Monday parade? Yeah, for now, no ticket, Johnny, because the resale prices are so crazy. But the plan is just to be there for the weekend and the Monday parade. That's the plan as of right now. Yes, that's what I've planned for. Thank you, TJ6. Nice to see you in the building. We got Jay Kelly in the building as well. Shout out to you. Why is there no big club gunning for Rafael Leao? I'm not convinced from what the AC Milan fans are saying. I'm not convinced. And we already have two top left wing. We already have two really good left wingers in Cody Gakpo and Lucho. So yeah, Bayern want to sign Wirtz too. So we're going to be battling with two clubs that are going to be difficult to battle with, which is Bayern Munich and Man City. Unfortunately. Carvalho have them vibes, but sadly, yeah, Fabio Carvalho did have them vibes. 100%, but it didn't work out for him at Brentford either, bro. It really didn't. Footy Khan, nice to see you in the building. What's good? Rooney Rogfason, nice to see you in the building. Who do you think will become the next vice captain? I think it's going to be either Robbo, Alisson, Salah, or Maka. One of those four. I can't say which. One of the four. Yeah, bro, I'm telling you. I think Dean Huijsen is off to Madrid. All right, you guys. Unfortunately, I do have to go. To dinner, but guys, I had to hop on because we got that David and Ornstein bomba around Florian Wirtz, and it just allows us to dream a little bit. I know it's probably unlikely. I know it seems like he's Bayern Munich bound, but why not dream about signing a player like Florian Wirtz? Hopefully, it's a sign that we are gonna have a big summer and that we are gonna sign a beautiful footballer like a Florian Wirtz who gets us excited for next season and who we know is going to light up Anfield. But yeah, guys, I will see you very, very soon. It looks like it's going to be a busy summer full of transfer news and everything else. So guys, we will keep up to date on all that stuff. We will keep having these discussions. And yeah, guys, I can't wait. It's going to be so exciting to see. So yeah, guys, I will see you very, very soon. Baba, thank you very much, as you're the reason I'm connected to Liverpool. You'll never walk alone. Yes, hopefully talk soon, Johnny. Talk very soon. Guys, I will see you very soon. Kai Na, this is from David Ornstein. Bomba. David Ornstein, bomba. But yeah, guys, have a beautiful rest of your night. I will see you very soon.